What's good is the one, the only, but what do I know? Boxing back at you with another one, man. Here to talk some stuff with and about George Kambosos being in the mix-up, man, with him, Lomachenko, and Devin Haney. It just seems like this is just my goodness, man. If it ain't one thing, it's another, man. They're trying. He wants to fight with Lomachenko, and I guess for legacy reasons, but this is what's going on with Lomachenko right now that's preventing this from happening. Vasyl Lomachenko agreed to a deal to fight George Kambosos, but he is working security detail on the Ukraine border. Efforts being made to allow Loma to leave for training camp so unified title fight can proceed June 5th in Australia. And I'll explain why I said unified later. But this is coming from Mike Competent, who is a very reliable source. Basically speaking on why Lomachenko, what's causing the holdup with Lomachenko. They're trying to get Lomachenko to be able to, leave the Ukraine right now. He's, as you guys saw, he's working, security details. But here's the thing. First and foremost, let me say this, man. I take my hat off to Lomachenko for doing what he's doing for his country, man. Rightfully so. I definitely salute him, the Klitschko brothers, Usyk, all of them. But see, here lies the problem. According to Mike Carpenter, under martial law in Ukraine, able-bodied men between the ages of 18 and 60 are prohibited from leaving the country to aid in defense against Russia. So this kind of prevents Lomachenko from being able to, go to Australia to fight. So, officials involved require that Kambosos' opponent be locked in by the end of March to allow for the typical 8-week promotional push, sources said. If there is no clarity regarding Lomachenko's ability to leave Ukraine by next week, talks will intensify with Devin Haney. And that right there is where I'm going to speak on this whole debacle between all three of these excellent fighters. So here is the definition of undisputed. Not disputed or called in question, accepted. Again, here is the definition of undisputed. Not disputed or called in question, accepted. One more time. Not disputed or called in question, accepted. So, my reasoning for bringing up the definition of undisputed is because, first and foremost, Kambosos is not undisputed. Here's why he's not undisputed. Because I can dispute the fact that he's not undisputed by saying there is a man in his weight class with the WBC belt. And in order to be undisputed, you have to have all belts. You have to have all the belts. I don't care about the dumb little rules that Mauricio Sulaiman changes around, because first and foremost, the franchise title, see, this is why people don't follow boxing, because of bullshit like this right here, right? The franchise title was a status. It's not a belt, it's a status. Being a franchise champion, that's what I meant, not the franchise title. Being the franchise champion is a status, not a belt. It's not a belt. That's from Mauricio Sulaiman's own word. Okay? Canelo was the franchise champion at 160. He has now left 160. Who is the franchise champion? Nobody, because it's a fucking status. So first and foremost, bro, you can't sit here and say that Kambosos is undisputed when I can dispute that by saying Devin Haney, he's not undisputed until he fights/beats Devin Haney. That is why we need the Devin Haney fight, to prevent all this BS. The fans keep going with this dumbass narrative, and they just take whatever the hell that they gotta say. No, hell no. In order to be undisputed, you have to have all 4 belts. Devin Haney has the WBC belt. Devin Haney is if you go on BoxRec right now, right, says Devin Haney is the WBC champion. Okay, so therefore, no, you can't sit here and say that George Kambosos is undisputed. No, he's not. He's not until he fights/beats Devin Haney. Okay, so this is why I really feel like George Kambosos Another reason why he just needs to stop focusing on the Lomachenko fight. Lomachenko is serving his country as like a man. I salute that man. I salute dude for doing that. That he doing what's right. He's serving his country, and I salute the hell out of Lomachenko for that. But however, so because he's serving his country right now, basically what you just read, they're not letting anybody out of the country right now. They have to defend their country. So therefore, it ain't no Lomachenko. It ain't the fight with Lomachenko is not gonna. It's just not gonna happen. So why not fight Devin Haney for the real undisputed? For undisputed something. If you beat Devin Haney, we cannot dispute the fact that you are undisputed because you have all belts. Okay, you have all the belts. If you beat Devin Haney, so why not go for that? Why not go for that? Why not? That's all I'm saying. Devin Haney deserves that fight. Devin Haney was robbed off of an opportunity to fight Lomachenko because Lomachenko was the WBC champion, but then he got elevated to the quote unquote the franchise status, and that gave Lomachenko the belt. Now everybody want to say, not Lomachenko. I'm sorry, that gave Devin Haney the belt. Now everybody want to say Devin Haney's an email champion and all this type of shit because they criticize him. He didn't beat the champion for the WBC. A lot of y'all don't even fucking realize Lomachenko didn't beat the champion for the WBC belt. He fought for the vacant title. That WBC belt belonged to Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia vacated because Lomachenko didn't want to fight Mikey Garcia. So if y'all gonna sit here and criticize this man for not fighting the champion for the WBC belt, then why don't you talk about Lomachenko? He didn't fight Mikey Garcia for the WBC belt. That belt was vacated, and the winner of him versus Luke Campbell or some shit was awarded that belt. Okay, so I don't want to hear that shit about Devin Haney being an email champion because Devin Haney wanted to fight with Lomachenko. So stop with the cap, stop with the BS, bro. Devin Haney wanted that fight with Lomachenko, bro. So he has the WBC belt. Kambosos is the unified champion at 135. Okay, he's the unified champion, but he is not the undisputed champion until he fights/beats Devin Haney. That's why you need to go ahead and get this fight with Devin Haney, and none of this talk will happen anymore. We can't talk about this shit. They like the WBC switches up their own rules so much. They said the franchise status cannot be passed around. Then what happens? They said that you have to do something significant, like be a champion in multi divisions or whatnot. Kambosos is not a champion in multi division. This is from the WBC. The WBC said this themselves. So I don't see Kambosos as the he's not undisputed. Okay, he's just point blank period. He's not undisputed. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button, subscribe, comment. But what do I know? What do I know? Before I end this video, to further prove my point, we went on BoxRec, right? Kambosos, who loves calling Devin Haney a pillow-fisted fighter, but he has a 50% knockout ratio. Devin Haney has like a 56%. So I guess y'all just gonna have a pillow fight or some shit. This is just a further. You go on BoxRec. Look, world titles held. This is the titles that he held. The WBA world lightweight title or whatnot. The IBF. Right? The IBF, the WBO. What's missing? The WBC. So if he does not have that title, how can you call him the undisputed champion, right? Let's click down. These were the titles that was on the line, right? WBA Super World title. IBF Super, the WBA Super World title. The IBF World title. The WBO World title. Where is the WBC? Where is the WBC? Oh, that's right. It's not on there. You know why? Because he doesn't have the WBC title. He's the franchise. He's the franchise. Teofimo was the franchise. That was a title, according to Mauricio Suleiman. That is a status, not a title. The WBC franchise is a status, not a title. It cannot be passed around. You have to be a significant champion in different weight classes like Canelo and shit like that. Well, Kambosos was not a significant champion in different weight classes. He's only a significant champion in one weight class, okay? So therefore, it doesn't make sense to call this man the undisputed champion when I can dispute the fact that he is not undisputed by giving you what I just gave you right now. Checkmate. I'm out. Have a good night.